You're listening to Indie Endeavor. This is Ryan Benk on 89.9 WJCT News. And I'm here with Billy&Bella, otherwise known as Sean Lightfoot and Anna Kluwicki. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Did I say your names right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think it
Great.
worked. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So to start off, why don't you tell me a little bit about Billy&Bella? How did it form? Is it normally a duo? All that kind of stuff.
Well, it definitely started out as a duo. I was hosting the singer-songwriter spotlight at Rain Dogs and 5 Points Wednesday nights. And Anna came in, and she performed some songs, and we struck up a friendship after that. And then there was no other woman that I could see, period, with my eyes.
So are you also in a relationship then? Is
Yeah,
that
we're
safe
going
to
to
say?
get married soon. We're getting married in December. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Yeah, December, good time in Florida to get married.
Nice
Definitely not right now.
No.
Not in this weather. So tell me a little bit about the style of Billy&Bella. What would you, how would you characterize yourselves? Because when I hear it, I kind of hear like handsome family, from the most well-known from the soundtrack of True Detective, meets like the Hush sound, sort of. And okay, that's just totally what I hear from my ear. But how would you characterize yourselves?
You know, it's interesting. It's been kind of an evolution of how do we describe ourselves based on how other people describe us. So it's always really interesting to hear how other people are doing that. We started out saying, hey, we want to make music that sounds kind of like a blend between Mazzy Star and Chris Isaac. So we went with that. And then we watched True Detective, and there's that lady singing in that bar. And somebody actually said, hey, you guys sound like True Detective. We're like, yeah, cool, we're going for that.
So I wasn't off then.
No, not
I wasn't
at all.
off at all.
No, not at all.
Great.
That was actually something that season of True Detective actually sort of like predated our working on these songs for the project. So it was it was pretty much an inspiration.
No way. Awesome. So, I mean, if that's what you're going for, then I definitely got that from it. That is really cool.
We also have this in common. We're both ex-Californians. I grew up in the Southern California area, in San Diego, and she lived and went to college in Northern California area. She went to Humboldt State, so we have these memories of like the California coast, the desert, the redwoods, and it's definitely mental inspiration for us when we do these songs.
That's interesting. So that was going to be one of my questions, whether or not you're Jack's natives. Did you study music, both of you, or is this more of a passion project that you do on the side?
Well, I did study music in North Carolina at East Carolina University. I actually wanted to be an opera singer, and didn't quite work out the way I thought. So, but I still teach music. I teach music at a local Catholic school. I teach a lot of music lessons, and I perform every chance I get. So.
I'm self-taught, and I've been performing publicly since last January. So just being able to like get up in front of all those people and play music and stuff has been a journey. And I feel like I'm taking it in stride okay, but there was definitely some learning experiences along the way, which are always very informative. I appreciate a good learning experience.
Well, the difference between Jacksonville, Florida, and anywhere in California is pretty stark from what I hear. How do you characterize your position and your place in the music scene here in Jacksonville?
Well, I've personally been playing music here in Jacksonville for actually about 15, 16 years, and I don't know. There are people that I guess I'm popular enough. People know who Sean Lightfoot is, and I know a lot of musicians. I just feel like I've been, I'm kind of an old man in the scene now, basically. But I think
you don't look that old. I mean, I was not expecting 15 years.
I certainly
playing music
feel
in
it.
Jacksonville.
I'm so old. So I've seen the scene progress. I've seen the geographical parts of the scene grow up. I've seen musicians come and go, and I've seen how the styles have changed, and it's been really cool to see that. Anna is definitely little bit less of a veteran in that sense, you know.
Yeah, but even so, since all of this stuff is really new to me, I bring like a newcomer's eyes to it. So I'm just like, whenever we get invited to play at different types of venues, and we do, we play a lounge act at Buddha Lounge, and we played at that Myth nightclub downtown, which is like an electronic dance club. You know, we had to adapt our sound each place. Last night we played at a bar in Brunswick, Georgia, and we played just kind of a rock sound. So the nice thing about being an indie band is that we're flexible and adaptable, and we're still, you know, figuring out our sound and how do we want it to sound in the end.
So moving from your place in the local music scene and your sound as musicians, what informs the lyrics of your songs? What informs kind of the poetry? Because it really is, you can tell it's a singer-songwriter type song. It's the lyrics they're not airy. They don't seem airy. They seem like they have gravitas.
I have been writing poetry for a number of years. It was probably what I'm more trained in than being a musician. So to me, the writing of words that have multiple layers of depth is sort of, I don't know, I feel like it's my duty to share stuff like that with people. Like if I'm going to create something, it has to have meaning. Otherwise, it's hard for me to understand what the point is, unless it's good practice. But, you know, so whenever I write a song, you know, I think about who I'm going to be playing it for, and I want it to have different levels of resonance with different groups of people. So I try to write things with multiple meanings, you know, like on the surface it looks like this, but underneath you could also take it this way. That way people can take what they want from it, but it can still stand on its own. Also, in college, I really found an interest, you know, I was studying creative writing in college, in a lot of different subjects, but one of them was psychology, and which introduced me to archetypal psychology. And so I, you know, read some Joseph Campbell, I read some Carl Jung and that group of intellectuals, and you know, it seemed really interesting. There was something that united human ideas. It was these archetypes. You know, you see it in things like George Lucas's work with Star Wars, and there's so many people that just really love Star Wars because it has these archetypes in it. So, I mean, in that respect, I try to embed universal experiences in there, but also attach contemporary twists on those things so that it gives something now to people to relate to.
All right, Anna and Sean, thank you for coming on Indie Endeavor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
affairs, but